Stop looking at the stock market. Seriously, turn it off. It is a distraction. While everyone is cheering about the numbers on a screen, the real financial system, the one built on actual physical things, is quietly breaking apart. I have a simple question for you. If you went to buy silver today, right now, at the price they show on TV, could you actually get it? The answer, for the first time in 40 years, is no. We are currently watching the greatest vanishing act in economic history. Silver is trading around $63 an ounce. To the average person, that looks like a healthy bull market. But that price is a lie. It is a trap. Because the physical metal is gone. In the last 3 weeks alone, the vaults in Shanghai have emptied out. We are talking about a 40% drop in verified inventory. It happened so fast that most analysts on Wall Street missed it completely. But we didn't. We tracked it. And what we found is terrifying. This isn't just a supply shortage, this is a blockade. We call it the China Protocol. Before we go any further, I need to be very clear about something. This video is for educational and documentary purposes only. I'm not a financial advisor, and this is not financial advice. The markets are volatile, and you should always do your own research before making any investment decisions. But what I am about to show you is not speculation. It is mathematical fact. To understand why your way of life is about to get much more expensive in 2026, we have to go back in time. We have to understand the psychology of the opponent. History doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes. And right now, we are rhyming with the year 1973. Do you remember the oil crisis? The United States was the king of the world. But it had one weakness. It was addicted to cheap foreign oil. When the OPEC nations decided to turn off the tap, the most powerful economy on earth fell to its knees in weeks. Gas stations ran dry. People fought in the streets. Inflation destroyed the savings of the middle class. The lesson was brutal. He who controls the resources controls the world. But there's an even more perfect parallel from 1980, the Hunt brothers crisis. Two Texas billionaires, Nelson Bunker Hunt and William Herbert Hunt, decided to corner the silver market. They accumulated 200 million ounces of physical silver in futures contracts. Silver went from $6 to $50 in 12 months. That is a 724% move. But here's the key lesson that everyone forgets. They used leverage in paper contracts. When the COMEX exchange changed the rules mid-game, when they banned new long positions and raised margin requirements, the Hunt brothers lost everything. They lost $1.7 billion and declared bankruptcy. But the people holding physical silver, not futures, not paper, but actual metal in their possession, they made fortunes and kept them. Physical always wins. Paper always loses. That's the immutable law of commodity crises. Fast forward to December 2025. The resource has changed, but the trap remains exactly the same. Today, the new oil is not black gold. It is silver. And the new OPEC is not a group of desert kingdoms. It is China. On October 30th, something happened in Beijing that changed the global order, and nobody talked about it on the evening news. The Chinese Ministry of Commerce quietly signed a paper. They called it National Security Measures. I call it Game Over. For 30 years, China was the world's factory. It was a symbiotic relationship. They dug up the silver, they refined it, and they sold it to us cheap. They made our iPhones, our solar panels, our cheap flat-screen TVs. We got the cheap goods, they got the pollution and the paper money. It seemed like a great deal for the West. Wall Street loved it. Corporate America loved it. But China was playing the long game. They weren't just selling, they were studying. They realized that the entire modern world, the digital world, cannot function without one specific metal. And 3 weeks ago, the trap snapped shut. China stopped the exports. Not officially, they didn't make a big speech at the United Nations. They just stopped approving the paperwork. Ships are sitting in ports, empty. The supply chain has been severed, and inside China, it is total panic buying. Factories in Shenzhen are paying premiums of up to 100% over the world price just to get metal. Why? Because they know the window is closing. They're hoarding every ounce they can find. Now, you might be sitting there thinking, why should I care about silver? I don't collect coins, and I don't wear jewelry. This is the biggest mistake people make. You're not listening to this video because you like shiny rocks. You're listening because you want to know if you will have a job or money next year. Silver isn't jewelry. It is the blood of the modern world. Let me explain the physics. Silver is the most conductive element on the periodic table. It conducts electricity better than copper, better than gold, better than anything else we have discovered in the universe. Period. Nothing else comes close. If you want to move electricity efficiently, you need silver. There is no substitute. Scientists have tried for decades to find alternatives, but the laws of physics don't care about human convenience. Think about your life. Your smartphone has silver in it. Your electric car has up to 50 grams of silver in it. That massive AI data center that Google and Microsoft are building needs tons of silver. You cannot have the future without this metal. Let's look at the solar industry. This is where the math gets scary. 5 years ago, solar panels were inefficient. But now, the industry is switching to a new technology called TOPCon and HJT cells. I won't bore you with the engineering, but here's what you need to know. These new panels are much better at creating energy, but they use 50 to 80% more silver than the old ones. The demand from the solar industry alone has doubled in 3 years. We are talking about 200 million ounces per year just for solar panels. That is 20% of global silver production consumed by one industry. And then there is artificial intelligence. Everyone talks about the chips, the NVIDIA GPUs, but nobody talks about the infrastructure. To run those chips, you need massive servers, high-speed connectors, and advanced cooling systems. Silver is the key component in all of them because copper creates too much heat and causes system failures. And the AI revolution is just beginning. ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, these are primitive compared to what's coming. Every new AI model requires exponentially more computing power. More servers, more cooling, more silver. A single AI data center can consume as much silver as a small country. We're building artificial brains that think like humans, but we're running out of the metal that makes their neurons fire. The defense industry tells the same story. Modern missiles, advanced radar systems, satellite communications, electronic warfare equipment, they all depend on silver's unique properties. The F-35 fighter jet contains over 100 ounces of silver. Every Tomahawk missile uses high-grade silver components. Every nuclear submarine has miles of silver wiring. As tensions rise globally and military budgets expand, defense contractors are suddenly competing with tech companies for the same finite supply of metal. This creates a bidding war that civilian markets have never seen before. The medical industry is another massive consumer that most people ignore. Silver's antimicrobial properties make it irreplaceable in advanced medical equipment, surgical instruments, and hospital infrastructure. Every MRI machine, every CAT scanner, every piece of life-saving equipment in a modern hospital depends on silver. As the global population ages and medical technology advances, this demand is growing exponentially. We are trying to build a Star Trek future using a mining industry from the Stone Age. The math simply does not work. So the demand is exploding. We are consuming 1.2 billion ounces a year. But how much are we digging out of the ground? Only 800 million ounces. Do the math. We are missing 400 million ounces every single year. You might say, well, if the price goes up to $100, won't the mining companies just dig more? No, they won't. And this is the part Wall Street hopes you don't understand. This is the secret they keep from you. You cannot just open a silver mine like you open a Starbucks. It is not a franchise. It takes 10 years to open a mine. 10 years of geological surveys, government permits, environmental impact studies, community negotiations, and construction. We don't have 10 years. We have months. Also, here's a fact that blows people's minds. Most silver isn't even found on purpose. It is an accident. About 70% of the world's silver comes as a byproduct. Miners dig for copper or zinc or lead, and they find a little bit of silver on the side. Think about what that means. It means the supply is inelastic. Even if silver goes to $500 an ounce, a copper miner in Peru is not going to double his production just to get a little more silver dust. He doesn't care about silver, he cares about copper. His business model, his equipment, his entire operation is built around copper, so the price can skyrocket, but the supply will stay flat. Nature doesn't allow us to cheat. The mining situation gets worse when you look at the geopolitics. Mexico produces 23% of global silver, but the country is dealing with cartel violence that regularly disrupts mining operations. Peru, another major producer, faces political instability and indigenous protests that shut down mines for months at a time. Chile is implementing stricter environmental regulations that could limit future production. These aren't temporary issues, they're structural problems that will persist for years. The grade of silver ore is also declining globally. We are digging up more earth for less metal. The easy deposits have been mined out. So how did we survive until now with this huge deficit? We had savings. We had massive stockpiles of silver sitting in vaults in London and New York, left over from the 1980s and 90s when governments were selling their strategic reserves. For 5 years, we have been eating those leftovers. But guess what? I checked the data this morning. The plate is empty. The leftovers are gone. We ate it all. We are now running on fumes. And at this exact moment of weakness, the biggest supplier in the world, China, just locked the doors. This follows a predictable 4-stage pattern that has destroyed every commodity market in history. Stage 1, abundance era from 2000 to 2020. Massive stockpiles, cheap prices, everyone assumes supply is infinite. Mining companies don't invest in new capacity because there's no urgency. Stage 2, deficit recognition, 2021 to 2024. Industrial demand explodes, but nobody panics yet. Markets assume higher prices will bring more supply. They are wrong. Stage 3, supply blockade, happening right now. The China protocol is active. Stockpiles drain, reality hits, panic buying begins. Stage 4, physical panic coming in 2026. Complete market breakdown. Paper contracts, worthless. Only physical metal survives. We are deep in stage 3. Stage 4 is inevitable. So here's the million-dollar question. If the shortage is so bad, why is the price only $63? Why isn't it $200 right now? This is where the crime happens. This is where the paper market comes in. Imagine a car dealership. They have one Lamborghini in the parking lot, but they sell that same Lamborghini to 100 different people. They give everyone a piece of paper that says, you own a Lamborghini. Everyone is happy as long as nobody comes to pick up the keys. That is the silver market. The banks in New York and London trade paper contracts. They bet on the price. They trade billions of ounces that do not exist. The COMEX has 43 million ounces of registered silver available for delivery, but there are paper claims for over 500 million ounces. That is more than 10 paper claims for every real ounce. It is a casino built on lies, and it works fine until people realize there is no metal in the vault. And that is happening right now. The big companies like Tesla, Apple, and Samsung are waking up. They don't want paper. They can't build a phone with a paper contract. They can't manufacture solar panels with a promise. They need the metal. They are knocking on the door of the COMEX, asking for delivery, and the vaults are echoing. When the world realizes that the paper silver is worthless, the panic will be legendary. It won't be a gradual rise. It will be an explosion. The price will disconnect from reality. You will see $65 on your screen, but if you go to a coin shop, they will ask for $150. And they will tell you, take it or leave it. Premiums will explode. Delivery times will stretch to months, and then, one day, there will be no silver available at any price. So, where's the price going? What is the target? Listen carefully to what I'm about to tell you. Officially, the big banks like Deutsche Bank and Bank of America have released conservative targets. But privately, in the closed-door meetings that don't make the news, the conversation is very different. When you factor in the China protocol, the AI demand surge, and the empty vaults, analysts are whispering about much higher numbers. We are hearing legitimate discussions about $100 per ounce within the next 18 months. Some are saying $150. The most aggressive projections go to $200 by 2027. And if you think that sounds impossible, remember palladium. In 2000, it was trading at $700 per ounce. By 2001, it hit $100. That is a 60% move. But here is where it gets interesting. In 2019, palladium ran from $500 to $3,000 in just 2 years. That is a 600% move. Why? Because of a shortage. Russia, which controls 40% of palladium supply, delayed shipments. The automotive industry panicked. The price exploded. Silver is setting up for that exact same pattern, but the shortage is much worse. The math suggests that $60 is just the warm-up. The real destination is triple digits. $100 isn't a ceiling, it is the starting line for the crisis. This isn't prediction. This is pattern recognition. The same mathematical certainties that drove oil in 1973, palladium in 2000, rhodium in 2008, and lithium in 2021. Same shortage, same government hoarding, same paper market collapse, same outcome every single time. Physical always wins. Paper always loses. China knows this. They are forcing a crisis. They want to break the Western financial system, and silver is their weapon. By hoarding the metal, they are starving our industries. It is the perfect economic war. No missiles, no soldiers, no sanctions, just supply and demand. They control the supply. We have the demand. They win. So where does this leave you? It leaves you with a choice, a very short window of time to make a decision. We are in December 2025. The new strict export laws in China kick in fully on January 1st. That is 3 weeks away. When that happens, the flow of metal stops completely. The supply chain shock will hit by March. The price explosion will follow by summer. Most people will do nothing. They will watch Netflix, they will trust their bank, and they will wake up poor. They will say, nobody warned us. But you're watching this. You have been warned. The signs are everywhere if you know how to read them. The stockpiles are gone. The mines are empty. The paper market is a lie. And the biggest supplier in the world just quit the game. History is being written right now. The greatest wealth transfer of our lifetime has begun. The only question is, are you on the side of the victims, or are you on the side of the prepared? Do not trust the price on the screen. Trust the empty vaults. Trust the panic buying in China. Trust the math. I will be releasing another update next week because rumors are leaking that a major U.S. defense contractor is about to make an emergency purchase directly from a mine in Mexico. Boeing and Lockheed Martin are reportedly in bidding wars for silver supply. You need to hear about that before the news breaks. Subscribe, turn on the bell, and get ready. The China protocol is real, and it is here.